Good day. So I just saw something on Threads that made my eyebrows just go. This lady, Catherine Rankin, just said, "My daughter's birthday was yesterday. She still hasn't called me." Now, on the surface, that might sound sad, but the internet did something real fascinating with this post. Good day. So I just saw something on Threads that made my eyebrows just go. This lady, Catherine Rankin, just said, "My daughter's birthday was yesterday. She still hasn't called me." Now, on the surface, that might sound sad, but the internet did something real fascinating with this post. I mean, thousands of people immediately jumped on this and they recognized the psychology behind this mama and what she just said. Because, again, some people may think, oh, this is a lonely mother. But to those of us that know better, they know that this was nothing but a public guilt bait. Okay. What really caught my attention were the comments under the post, because people weren't just acting, reactive or just being emotionally. They were actually recognizing a pattern, something that a lot of us are clocking really well right now, which makes a lot of boomers angry and they want to try to call it a fad. But anyway, back to the point. So I pulled together a few of my favorite comments, really juicy too, because they perfectly illustrate how people see through this kind of narrative. So let's get into it. Let's read a couple of these comments, okay? So first, Mira X Gold says, "That's not how birthdays work." And then Joe Spinlow says, "I'm sorry, what? Is there a reason you couldn't call her?" And then Gudetama says, "My daughter's birthday was yesterday. She still hasn't sent me a present." Because clearly that's literally how this is reading. So the Devil's Martini, by the way, I love dirty martinis, extra dirty, extra olives, okay? Thank you. So the Devil's Martini says, "Is this some kind of satire that none of us are getting? Because if not, you are a terrible mother." And then Oh Hi Mark says, "My own mother didn't call me on Mother's Day. I won't forgive her for that." Okay, let's go to the next one. Natalie says, "Are you friends with someone named Connie by any chance?" You guys are gonna have to fill me in on this because I don't know who Connie is and I really don't have the time right now to go Google it. So somebody drop that in the comments. What's that all about? Ask Aubrey says, "You know when someone asks, what's it like growing up with a narcissist for a mother?" Exhibit A. So we're going to do a little hopping around this page. And Danielle says, "You are that mom, huh? First and foremost, the mom of a girl who didn't call me on her birthday." Okay, Connie. Here goes the Connie thing again. So you know what? I'm going to stop for a second and Google this because I need to know who is Connie. Hold on. Okay, so I just learned that Connie is like Karen, but instead of Karen being like the racist, all that stuff, Connie is like it's like the title name of the narcissistic parent or mother archetype. Okay, I got it. So I'm with you with the Connie thing. So Kia says, "It's her birthday. Why is she calling you?" And this is my second favorite comment on here. So user Mary Aurora 01, she pretends like she's getting ready to report the account. So that little box pops up and it says, "Who is this account pretending to be?" And she types in the victim. Brilliant, Mary. Brilliant. Couple more comments I really enjoyed. One of them is from Kia. She says, "It's her birthday. Why is she calling you?" Then we've got Taddy Mugambo who says, "You spelled, 'please give me some attention,' even if it's negative, wrong." Yes, Connie definitely spelled that wrong. Linda Francis says, "I can't believe how many cunty mothers just put themselves here." Literally. But that's the thing about being a narc. Everybody is smart with them. They're the only ones that know anything. They will put themselves out there loud and proud and wrong. And they live in their own land of Delulu where they'll put themselves out there because they really believe they're right and they expect to be supported. Like the dragging that this Miss Connie number 5.672,000 is getting today is so well earned. But she still, after reading all these comments, she still won't get it. She will refuse to get it. It's really it's so fascinating the way their brains work. So next we've got Kirsten, which says, "Did you expect a call from her like, 'Thank you for giving birth to me'?" That's not how that works. Then we've got that snarky Will who says, not calling you was her gift to herself. Agreed. I wish that girl a very, very happy, merry birthday, a very peaceful, unbothered, uneffed with birthday, which apparently she had one. Right. A couple more comments here that I really enjoyed. One of them is from Shades of Ken, who says, publicly admitting you suck as a mom is certainly a choice. Yes, it is. And then we have Jason's dad who says, my daughter's birthday was yesterday and she still hasn't made it all about me. I know, right? Oh my God. And this is my all-time favorite. This is my new vocabulary word that I'm definitely going to be repeating several times this week and upcoming posts. This is the one. So Goat Roper Farm says, the word of the day is dictum. A person who acts like a dick, then acts like a victim about it. Dictum. The more you know. Reading Rainbow. Bye, y'all. So actually, before I go, I do want to say one last thing. Here's why this is interesting from a psychological standpoint. This post is what psychologists would call a Rorschach test. Hope I said that correctly. Meaning the sentence itself that this woman posted, it could be seemingly ambiguous, but people often project their own experiences onto it. Some people will still see a sad parent, but people who grew up with manipulative or narcissistic parents, oh, we recognize something and we clock the bullshit immediately, okay? We recognize the public victim narrative. And here's the trick with posts like this, that this Miss Connie 3.0 posted. The parent will tell a story that sounds sympathetic, but they leave out the entire history. They don't say why the daughter might not be calling, what happened in that relationship, what boundaries were continually crossed, because these type of parents are habitual line steppers. How many attempts at reconciliation already happened, oftentimes by the child, the adult child, who it's not even on them to do that. All we get, though, is that final sentence that's designed to trigger sympathy from strangers. And people, again, like me and a lot of you, who have lived through all that shit and lived through those dynamics, we know exactly what we're looking at. Because estrangement between parents and adult children, it almost never happens randomly or overnight. It usually happens after years, sometimes even decades of ignored boundaries, denial, emotional harm. So when people saw this lady's post, they didn't just react to her sentence, they reacted to a very known and a very real pattern. And that's why these comments are so powerful. It's thousands of people who are saying, no ma'am, Miss Connie, we done already seen all this play out before. No ma'am. we about to clack your tea, honey. We about to clack your BS. And sometimes silence from an adult child is really not cruelty. I've said this on several other of my videos and break it down a little bit more. That silence is usually not cruelty. Sometimes it is the only way that adult child can protect their peace. So to that adult child who did not call her mom on her birthday, how dare you, girl? How dare you? I wish her and lots of other adult children like her lots of peace, lots of protection, lots of healing, recompense, the apology that they're never going to get, and the repair that they're never going to get from that one source that they should get it from. I wish for the universe to give it back to her and to all of you in so many other ways tenfold. All right. Happy birthday. Bye-bye.
This is power with a name, darling Nikki. Remember, I don't break, I transcend. Every scar got a lesson. Every loss made a legend. Darling Nikki, remember, I don't break, I transcend. Every scar got a lesson. Every loss made a legend. That's darling Nikki.